y'all. So today I got with me a brother, a coach, and most importantly, one of the most influential people in my life. He's really inspired me to be a hooper, to just be a better person, be a better student of the game. I got my boy, Block. Donovan Bridgeford, the head of the CEO of Dream Chasers and Championsburg.
I'm just Block. Don't put all that on me. I won't be able to make it out the building. They're gonna give me before I get there.
Hey, check his resume. He got a lot of stuff out there. NBA players, down to overseas guys. Dirk. Who else went overseas? Colin, Frank, Mason.
I mean, all you guys got the opportunity to play for money, so it's a great experience. I'm just a man of God, thanking God that he put me on the right path, and really it was a blessing to be in y'all lives. Like, I know that you guys appreciated what I did for you, but what you guys did for me, I appreciate that too. So just being with y'all, learning how to help young men, learning how to help myself so I can be better for young men. I never had a father in my life, but I had great father figures. Like, don't ever get that twisted. Like, I had unbelievable father figures. Like, my uncle was always there. Like, he taught me a standard. Like, you're not gonna go underneath this. You're gonna play college basketball. You're gonna graduate high school. Like, you always gonna be a man of your word. No matter what somebody else doing, you always gotta do the right thing. If you see somebody doing the wrong thing, you stand up, no matter what. Great coaches. I mean, we in this building right now. Coach Brown's amazing coach, Coach Jones, Coach Overton, Coach Reed. They just put a discipline and a desire in me that has helped me catapult my career since leaving middle school. So when I got to high school, I was like, this is easy. Like, the discipline part. When I got to college, this is easy. When I got the opportunity to play professional basketball, this is easy. I got a routine. I'm going to stick to my routine until I'm the best. And once I'm the best, I'm going to have a harder routine because I want to stay there. So I'm just happy. I'm happy you're doing great things. That inspires me so much, because you guys never know everything that I had to do in order to give what y'all deserve. It's a lot of great basketball players in the Williamsburg, York County area, but a lot of them didn't get to play on the next level. A lot of them didn't get to play on a high platform. So it was a lot of sacrifices. Whenever y'all see my family, give them a hug, because I know they probably was like, dude was absent. He was at other people. He missing our stuff for everybody else stuff. But it just goes back to like making sure that you give more than you received. So I wanted to, not to say I didn't get great things from my coaches, but whatever they gave me, I wanted to magnify that by 10. Just to pour in to you guys, and it wasn't easy. I mean, regardless, I'm not that much older than y'all, so I gave up a lot. Like, I knew I couldn't tell you not to be out at night, and I'm out at night, so that was something that I didn't do. And I knew the platform we was playing on. I'm a young coach. If we lose, it's automatically he too young. So a lot of that was studying. You know what I'm saying? Trying to learn from this person, trying to break in this college practice. So I gave up like a lot of the stuff that most 24, maybe 25-year-olds was doing. But I would do the same thing again, like with no hesitation, because God always rewards your pursuit. So like I would do it again times 10. I would be a caveman even more. Because when I look back at it, I'm like, dang, man, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just loved y'all, and I knew how to ball. So I was like, yo, this is what we gonna do. I think gradually you start learning, all right, let's set them up like this, let's use this. But really, it was really just love, discipline, and intensity. And we from the bird, like, we ain't backing down. Everybody already got this misconception that we soft, we don't have this. Is it black people there? Like, you like, what, man, get out of here. When really it's harder to crack through from Williamsburg because there's more opportunities in the bigger areas, you know what I'm saying? Or it's more for every one of me in a bigger city, it's 5 others, you know.
Right.
We got what, 2 rec centers maybe? Some cities got 2 rec centers within 3 miles away. You know, so just think about, you know, the bigger cities, the opportunities that they have. Ours isn't that big, so we got to go even harder. So I always try to put that in y'all, like they can't defeat us. They got to beat us. Like they got to beat us. And if they beat us, we coming back harder than ever. So and that's just like in life. You know, I can't feel defeated. I gotta handle this adversity. I gotta embrace this adversity, because after adversity is achievement, and it's an unbelievable feeling. So I always just try to put that in y'all's, and just like, you know, building, like, hey, we all came from, you know, tough circumstances. You know, I grew up in Harland Park apartments. I mean, it was myself, my mom, my 2 uncles, my grandma, my aunt, her 2 kids, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So I had every excuse in the world to say, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, I can't do this, I can't. But it was like I can't.
Busy guy there.
No, I ain't even know I had my volume on. I don't never have my volume on. But sorry about that. But you know, growing up in that environment, I could have picked to do the wrong thing easily. It was not easy. Like it was not easy, to be honest. I probably was like a nice, not that I'm not nice, but like just a nice, like I was a geek. Like I love math, you know what I'm saying? Like I love math. I like writing. You know, I thought it was like a little rapper or something. I probably could have been a rapper. It's not good for the image, but like I can. You get in the car with me, you know, I'm gonna have you dancing. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have a gospel song. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. He turned to a rapper. He turned to a block of flowers.
So like, and I still think I'm nice with the pen. So like, but like it was a rough environment. Like it was tough. You walk outdoors. You don't know what you would see. I remember one day, you know, we were outside just playing hide go seek, and my uncle was getting robbed. Like really getting robbed. Like gun pointed at him, get on the ground. You know, my cousin, first thing she yelled is, "Let's call the police." And I'm like, "You call the police? We getting killed." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to go get something to help them. Like, you know, I'm like 7 or 8 trying to find a bat or anything, you know. But it was rough, and you know, like you saw like the SWAT team before you going in the elementary, before you getting on the elementary bus, you seeing the SWAT team break into a house, and you know some teachers can understand that, some can't. So you know sometimes that's why as an educator now I try to make sure that I have that grace, because I never know what's going on in a kid's life. Like and that was real. Like I remember the SWAT team busting in, and then like getting on the bus, you like, yo, what is going on? Like
You was in
that was elementary school. Yeah,
Do you remember, like when that stuff happened? Do you remember if you were able to articulate how you felt in that moment, or was it just like
I said, I had a lot of great people around me. Like my aunt May, rest in heaven, was amazing. Like, so she always, you know, put that in me. Like, it doesn't matter what you see, do what you know. Right. You know, it was a lot of times where, you know, we didn't have money. The cheapest thing was Food Lion. Remember, the candy used to be $3, $4. It's probably like $10 now, but that's what we was eating for dinner. So, you know, as a kid, tummy gonna be hurting after that, but you know, it didn't matter, because I had such a great supporting cast that they were like, no, you can't fall to the streets. Right. And you know, I love my uncle, but you know, he had his battles. And he was a soldier. Like he was from, you know, so automatically people was like, man, you got to be tough like your uncle. Right. Like your uncle ain't ain't take nothing. Your uncle, or automatically people was coming at me like I was my uncle. You know what I'm saying? So that
Hey, yo, that's Neff, though. They got the same blood.
like it
Apple
built
far too far from the tree.
it built a toughness in me, but my mom helped me turn it into a resiliency. Like, no, that's not toughness, yelling, cussing, going off. Like, toughness is knowing that it's tough, but you gotta endure it. Knowing that this is gonna be difficult, but you're gonna get through it, that you're gonna become a champion. So my mom was always like, turn your pain into power. And it was a lot of tough times. Like, I'm like, Mom, you know, she like, you need to pray. Right. You know, and at the time, you like, I just want you to fix this. And she like, you need to pray. And like, that was always her thing. Like, you need to pray. And she was never easy on me either. Like, nah, like, like, I don't care if that coach not giving you a fair shot. Life ain't gonna be fair. Make it happen. Right. Like, you fail, get up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get up. It's no sitting down. Like, you gotta get up. Like, no, you great in math, you better be number one. So when I was in Matthew Whaley, I was like on the math team. So, you know where Holland Park is? It's right across from the railroad tracks, and it's right near Matthew Whaley. So I used to have to wake up in the mornings to go to the math team. You know, everybody else had a ride. You know, you seeing them getting dropped off and everything. But my mom's like, don't worry about none of that. When you walk in that library, you better make sure you're the best math student in there. Right. So, you know, I got to beat some math professors and different things like that. And I wish that I kind of stuck with that more. But, you know, it's so much going on, and you don't have those. I don't even think you put in resources. You got to have that same support and motivation. Like, I remember I had a teacher, he wasn't even my teacher, Mr. Hurley, right. Mike Hurley. He just demanded a discipline from me, like, no, Donovan, you're not gonna act this way. Donovan, have your pants up. I'm not gonna tell you this again. And he saw the dedication and desire in me. Like, he'll tell you, like, we doing math tables and like I'm getting upset if my team don't win. Like, I'm over there trying to teach everybody, like, all right, all you got to do is carry the 1, carry the 2, and then we're good to go. Like, come on, we got to win this. But he was a great man, and he could have saw my passion and took it disrespectful. Like, oh, this kid, you know, did it. Instead, he said, this kid has great passion, great heart. Let me put him in the right direction. So I had a lot of great educators. I mean, even here, Miss Chamblee, that was one of my math teachers too. Like I said, like I was in love with math. Like, math was my thing. You still see it now, baby. 10 got to go to 1,000. 1,000 got to go to 100,000. So math was my thing. Mr. Willis. So I just think you gotta have that supporting cast too. You gotta have that foundation around you. And that's what I try to do with y'all. Like, I'm not gonna allow y'all to quit. Like, I'm not gonna allow you to not over exceed your potential.
I appreciate that, man. So now we can get into the nitty gritty. I'm glad he gave y'all a little background story first. Now I can get into these questions. First question is, how you doing today, brother?
Everything's good.
You know what the show's called, right?
Yeah, you got me on the court, so I had to have a ball in my hand.
Pure
like,
vulnerability. So, you know, I want you to be as pure as you as possible.
Yeah.
So
still working on the vulnerability.
I'm glad you
you got to know your weaknesses and your strengths.
But I'm glad you touched base on how you grew up and stuff, and growing up without a dad, because like me and most of the guys that you see, that was a part of your team actually. It was just moms in the bleachers. So did the absence of your dad, did you feel the difference? Because you did say that your family was there, so it sounds like you had a real strong structure.
It was crazy. Like, it was like an AAU team, and you know how you got like the contact list?
Yeah.
And it got your name, your number, mom's number, dad's number. And I looked one day, I was like, I'm the only one that ain't got no dad contact on there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it was just like, But once again, like, my family and everyone around me taught to not let things bring you down.
Yeah.
Let it lift you up.
Right.
Like, don't let it bring you down. Let it lift you up.
Yeah.
So I always just tried to be resilient. Like, yeah, it was tough. Like, I would have loved to have a dad in the stands, or I'd have loved to have like a dad, you know what I'm saying, like that could coach, or you know,
Yeah.
that could help you, because you know a father can catapult you, you know, can push you the right way, or can set you up that you already set up a little further. But everybody has their own path, so it was difficult. But once again, like, I just had, God blessed me with like great people in my life. Like, my mom was awesome, my Aunt May May, my Uncle Tony, my Aunt Jackie, my coaches, Coach Traver, Coach Brown. Like, I had some great people in my life that didn't allow me to use that as a crutch.
Right. Was there ever, can you think about a significant moment where you could have went left? It almost went left, and then that decision right there determined the rest of your life.
I mean, like I said, like growing up every day in Holland Park, like it's the 90s, like people was making a lot of money doing different things.
Right.
You know, so you was seeing Acras, and then you was seeing moms get off the bus or walking. So which one you want to do? Like, you want to be in the act with the gold rims, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a lot of decisions every day. And then that environment, those kids get older. So now it's not like, let's go find some quarters so we can go to the candy lady. Now it's like, let's make some money.
Right.
So it was a lot of choices like that I could have made, and it could have got ugly.
Yeah.
Like, it could have got ugly, and it was difficult. You know, I remember, what was it, the two-way phones, two-way pages came out. You know, everybody in the apartments got one. And they like, you want one? Come get it. And I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. Like, you know, my uncle set that bar for me, like, nah, the street life, it's not for you. Like, it's not for you. We ain't letting you do it. Now, I'm not saying that like I was perfect, because I was not a perfect kid, but I knew that like I couldn't do that. Like, I can't do that.
So I imagine there was like a lot of other children in the neighborhood like you. So when that decision was made, like your uncle was like, nah, bro, you can't do that. And then I'm sure you had guys that was real good friends with you that were doing that. Did that deteriorate the relationship that y'all had?
You just had to love them from afar. And luckily, they respected me enough that it was like, yo, Block, do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, we still got your back. Like, you hooping, you gone. We know you gone this weekend. Like, you know, do your thing. And, you know, it was tough, you know, not to, you know, put my uncle out. You know, he was incarcerated. But my mom always did a good job. Like, we traveled every weekend. I used to be upset because I'd be like, Mom, we got a tournament. She's like, no, we're going to see your uncle. Like, so. And he always like poured that in me, like, no, D, you got to do this, you got to do that, and just positive talking. How are you doing at school? How are you doing that? You know, he didn't want that from me. Like, I think that's really big of him. Like, he didn't want that from me. And he would not let me do that. Like, he did not want that. And he would not let me do that. He would, nothing near it. Like, nah, don't try to be cool and fake this. Like, you ain't doing it. Well, I'm gonna kill you. Like, So that was big of him, because I mean, in our community, it's easy to say, well, I did it, he can do it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, like, this is all of the family business, but he was not for it at all. Like, nah. So.
Right. Hey, that's real, bro. That's real. So growing up, you get past the friend, like they accepting you for who you are, you accepting them where they are, and you still going your own path. When did you find that basketball was, like, when did you find that passion for basketball?
I mean, I always loved ball. I mean, Holland Park, the capital of Williamsburg, like, you had to hoop. Like, I had some hoopers around me, like Pierre Brown, he played at Mount St. Mary's. Like, that was my guy. We was always at the park. My uncle, Russell Bridgeforth, he was a hooper. So you automatically got that stigma, like, yo, can you hoop like your uncle? My cousin Vaughn Wafer, he played at Florida State. He was a McDonald's All-American. He played in the NBA. JT Randall, that was my cousin. He won the state championship at Walsingham. Like, so it was always like basketball was always around. Like in Harlan Park, we got one court and it's on. Like that's where you want to go every day. You know, some unbelievable basketball players came through there. Chris Brown, Raymond Brown, Brian Ovis. So it was like an example right in front of you, and you like, yeah, I'm gonna be better than all of them.
Right.
Like you're like, yo, I'm gonna be better than all of them. Like so, from the jump, like it was a work ethic and a desire put into you because of that environment. It's one court. Everybody don't get to play, and ain't nobody trying to hear what your mama gotta say. If you can't play, you gonna sit here and dribble the ball on the side and tell maybe somebody gotta go, and you can play. You know, once you get out there on that court, you like, yo, I want to play all the time. Right. So it would be hours. I'd be waiting. Like, all right, I know if somebody turned an ankle or somebody got to go, like, I'm right here. I'm right here. So I think just growing up in that environment where they put a huge emphasis on basketball and you seeing it right there, like, that just was a passion. And I loved football, too. Like, I loved football. I was, like, actually really, really good in it. Like, if I didn't break my leg, I probably would have stuck with it. And I broke my leg at like an early age, like in 8th grade, just on some like crazy type stuff. So I still went and played football, but then, you know, recruiting started jumping off. So I'm like, all right, I had transfer schools, so football I couldn't get to in the summertime. And then back then, like the Nationals was always late. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So some coaches was with it, some coaches won't, like, you know. But just being in that environment where everybody played, where basketball meant something. Like first in my inner family, like I said, my Uncle Russell, probably one of the best players ever played in Williamsburg. I think he was like 6'3", with point guard moves like in the 80s. So, you know, that was, you know, like I said, my cousin JT, he was at Walsingham, he could boogie. My cousin Vaughn Wafer, you know, he could hoop. You know, I mean, he was in the NBA, so you already knew what time it was from the jump. My cousins in Richmond, they hooped, so it was just like, yo, if you was at Bridgeport, you had to play ball, and you in Harlan Park, so you got to ball out.
Yeah, so I guess it's in the blood. Dion wasn't from Harlan Park, was he?
So he was from Centerville, but then he grew up in New Hope. But Sean was my best friend. So Sean Preston was my best friend when I was in Harlan Park. His mom and my mom was like best friends, and our apartments was right beside each other. So we was.
Sean lived in
Harlan Park.
I
Yeah.
thought he lived in New Hope the whole time.
So like he lived in Harlan Park, Chickahominy.
Before you get to that, explain to them where Harlan Park and New Hope, like what that is.
So Harlan Park is downtown Williamsburg. So people are like, all right, it's a downtown Williamsburg. Yes, all right. So, but it's a public housing. It's public housing. So all the public housing in Williamsburg is what? Hidden. Right. Like you cannot see it from the road. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you will not know this goes on here.
Right.
So Harlan Park is right by the post office, right across the street from the railroad tracks. They used to say don't go behind the railroad tracks. Right by Matthew Whaley. Now New Hope is what? Probably like 5 miles down the road, but New Hope is what? All the way in the cut. Yeah. Behind the IHOP, behind the hotel.
Yeah.
And some people say, you know, you got downtown Williamsburg, you can put Mimosa in there. That's another public housing, right?
Oh, shoot.
Right by Women Married, the law school, but nobody from the law school can what? See those apartments.
Right.
It's deep down. You got to turn into the neighborhood, then turn down there.
Bro, I didn't even think about none of that.
Yeah, so like in Williamsburg, that's how it is. It's hit. You're not supposed to.
That's
know.
what I be trying to explain. All right, so it's the thing where it's like, bro, you see it too on the internet. You from Williamsburg, yo. You grew up in the suburbs. You got 2, 3-story houses. I'm like, bro, that's not the part of Williamsburg I grew up. I guarantee you, any black person with this color skin is gonna tell you they grew up in the woods where nobody's seen them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I guarantee you'll never see somebody lighter than me in these neighborhoods. I promise you.
So like, I mean, even like, cause y'all Ironbine in the cut though, like you turn, boom, you like, these houses, like what? Like this cause my Aunt Helen used to stay around the corner from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you see the women.
Hey, bro, up there. I was in Orlando.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, where's that at?
Yeah, I ain't going out there.
Where's that at?
Y'all different down
Way out there.
So we ain't online, but everything kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's on the outskirts.
in the-
Outskirts or hidden?
in the cut. So, yeah, to get to your question, I think we was talking about Sean, and then we was talking about
Dion
too.
Dion,
So
yeah,
like,
New Hope.
what's crazy was like, so they moved to New Hope. Sean was in New Hope, so like I was out there all the time.
Right.
Or like, we stayed in Holland Park. My Aunt May stayed in Harriet Tubman, right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So like we would meet at the food line and then walk to the rec center.
Right.
So like we was in shape, you know what I'm saying? That's like 7-8 miles,
Yeah.
you know, and it was all love. Like they would walk there, meet me there, you know. If my mimosa dudes was going, I would meet them at the candy store in Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
So I go to the candy store, then we would
yeah,
hop
you was
to
hiking.
food line. Yeah,
you
so
was hiking.
that's where the bounce came from. Like, you know what I'm saying? You riding a bike or you walking everywhere. But I kind of got that from, it's a guy named Seneca Lassiter from Harlan Park. He ran track for the University of Arkansas. Yeah, like he had the fastest mile time like in the NCAA. And I would see him hooping and I'd be like, yo, Sen, how you getting home? He like, oh, I'm running home. And I'm like, what? We just hooped for like 2 hours. He's like, that's how you get in shape. Like, you gotta work out harder than your competitors. Like, you gotta wanna have a tougher edge than them. And he kind of taught me that. And he was a track guy, so you know that track stuff crazy. I can't run no miles. You know what I'm saying? I got a strong mind, but nah, like I'm breaking down after the first lap. Like, I don't know how to pace myself, but he taught me that, like, you know, you got to work out harder than you can imagine your competitors are working out. So if I just played ball for 2 hours, my competition probably worked out for 2 hours, but I'm getting another 30-minute run in, I'm beating him. So he was like, you know, you don't run track, but run home with the ball in your hand. And I was like, oh, Sean. So, you know, it wasn't cell phones or nothing back then. So I just would tell my mom, like, I'm going to probably be 30 minutes after everybody else. She's like, what are you talking about, boys? She's like, I'm not riding with them. You know, I gotta handle the ball. I got to dribble the ball for about 4 miles.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, just blessed to be around a lot of people that elevated my mind. You know, and that's why I'm so big on, like, you know, people that do have influence or that are around the kids, like, let's get them to do the right things. Like, you know, I get it. We got to build that rapport with them so they can trust us and everything. But let's really, like, show them, like, music is just music. That's not your life.
Right.
That's not what y'all got to do. And I know, like, a lot of y'all can attest to it. Like, y'all might have came into Pacifica. First thing we was listening to was a church sermon. But by the time we got to the gym, we got the Yo Gotti on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, before we get to Catholic University, we got to get crunk, but, you know, we got to know, you know, why we here as well in our purpose. So
when did you build a relationship with Dion?
So it's crazy because
Were y'all competitors first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was some like let's go, like let's scrap, you know, like 4-5 times, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was some intense battles.
The thing about Dion, like when I was coming up to learn, because he was one of those, the young kids say aura, right? So he had one of those joints where it's like he really had like a different type of glow around him when he came around, even on the basketball court. It was like this dude was fierce, right? And the same way he was fierce on the rim was how he was outside the gym. So I think the respect that he gave came from other people's toughness. And not necessarily, they don't have to be the toughest person in the world, they just gotta have heart.
So, like crazy, I was trying out for the varsity team, and my whole thing was, even when I was like 5th, 6th grade, like, I ain't never playing JV, man. Like, I ain't never playing JV. So we had Coach Charlie Brown, which he was a great basketball player. He played at Longwood. They won like 30 games in a row or something. Made it to the NCAA tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Coach at Lafayette?
no, so he was at Berkeley.
Berkeley.
He was at
Okay,
Berkeley.
okay.
He did coach at Lafayette a long time ago.
Oh yeah, no, he did for the girls.
I mean, right there on this hoop right here, we scrimmaging. And Dion going on a break, and it's me and him. And I'm like, if I show this coach that I'm scared, I'm done. Like, I know I'm done. So I go for the block, and I throw him to the wall. And I'm like, dang, man, I know we about to fight. Like, I already know. He got long arms. You know, I'm a little shorter, so I'm like, contemplate, do I go for the slam or do I like, you know what I'm saying? So I tried to get him up. He was like, nah, I respect that. You're going to be on the team with me. And like, from then, we was locked in. Like, we always knew, like, it's time. Like, when we got in between the lines, like, it's time. Even if we was on different teams, like, it's time. So, you know, I'm in 7th, he in 8th. He was a year older than me, but it was always like compete, or it was always like challenge each other. Like, come on, man, I know you better than that. Come on, he tougher than you. Like, what's up? You want me to take him? Like, I remember, I think I was in the 8th grade. He was in the 9th grade. We was going to D.C. One of the coaches was like, yo, we going to D.C. I'm like, you know, you from Williamsburg? I'm from the Park. I'm like, yeah, I go to D.C. What's up? He's like, you know, they got us some Wawa subs. I'm like, oh, this sound good. You know, like, all right, I'm playing with y'all. So we in D.C., and I think we playing like Bishop O'Connell. One of their coaches, probably the assistant that do all the recruiting or whatever, he got all his kids. We playing. So, you know, from the tip, he like, yo, let's go, man. It's this guard, man, tall, dark-skinned guard, Marcus Ginyard. They like, yo, he about to go to UNC. You know, back then, you either Duke or you UNC, right? So I'm like, nah, I'm about to go to UNC. So, I mean, we getting there and we battling. And he's scoring. And, you know, he like, yo, D, don't get his chunk. Nothing. Don't get like, it didn't matter where we were. You had to put on. And I remember, like, Ginyard, he went for the lay. I don't know how Dion came out of nowhere. I think he came out of nowhere. Boom! Pin the joint. I get the rebound. He in the corner. Boom. Swing it to the corner. Game winner. And I mean, Marcus Ginyard, and then when we looked him up, you know, you got the Slam magazine, all that. Yeah. He committed to UNC in 10th grade. So it was like, no matter who it is, no matter what it is, we going. Like, we going. That's just the type of mentality he had. And he was a protector too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never felt like, we went to some crazy places, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to say I'm macho, man. Like, if I ain't from here, I really shouldn't be there. So it's like, we ain't trying to push the envelope, but he like, no, we good. Like, we gonna compete, we good. Like, we all right. So I got to see a different side of him. And he was always, you know what I'm saying, caring. You know, I saw him take care of a lot of people. So contrary to what, you know, people would say, but he definitely inspired me, and he definitely pushed me. I mean, he inspired me as a mentor, as a leader, because I would say the coaching is third. The biggest thing I care about is the relationship that I got with y'all, the influence I got with y'all, that I can say, yo, Wani, I know this joint might be what you want, but it's not what you need to do. You know, so he definitely. That was the reason why I got into coaching, because I felt like if he had better influences or leaders in his life, then his life might have been different. You know, I got the opportunity to play the best of the best. You know, Tywan Lawson, Lou Williams, who welcomed me to real basketball, and he was on that same level. Yeah. He was on that same level. He just didn't have those same resources or the same platform. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I wanted to make sure that you guys got that same platform, the same love. I think if he was in another area, say, you know, New York, Philly, it's no telling. I mean, even at the right school in the Peninsula District, like, you know, so that's the main reason that I got into coaching. And I never wanted anybody to ever have that feeling, to have their best friend be gone.
Right.
You know, to talk to him at 2 o'clock and then find out at 6 o'clock he gone.
Right.
I never wanted any mother, any kid, any nobody to feel that feeling, because that's like one of the worst feelings I ever felt in my life. That was the main driving point why I wanted to, you know, be in kids' lives. I never wanted them to experience that type of pain. I wanted them to always have an advocate on their side, because I know how it is to not have an advocate on your side, to feel like everybody's against you. And it, like I said, I started mentoring and leading at a young age. I ain't had no money. I ain't know how we was gonna have gas money. Like, we was only sponsored by my mom, Pacifica.
Right.
And I ran that joint too. We like 9 deep in the Pacific. You know, I'm telling people, don't worry about it. We got room, or we gonna make room. You know, we trying to tell people, come to Myrtle Beach. You know, we'll take care of your hotel. Just drive a couple of the players. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So it was a lot of times I was praying like, I don't know how we gonna do it. And you know, at that time, a lot of people wasn't really into it like I was. So remember, we had 2 or 3 groups. I'm coaching like 8 games that day. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, please make sure I had the energy to do it.
I know some of us didn't even have it, and then we didn't have it. We couldn't get it, and then somehow we was in North Carolina, Myrtle Beach playing, bro.
Group, yeah, like, I mean, it's just a blessing for God.
Group.
And like I said, it was a lot of sacrifices made.
Yeah.
That's why I say, you know, if you see my family, just show them love, because it's a lot of times that I pick, you know, basketball over them.
Right.
And I also believe, like, you know, if you want to be great at something, you got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta give stuff up, and it's tough, because sometimes you hurt the people closest to you, and you're not trying to hurt them, but you are trying to, you know, reach your potential, or you know, you're just trying to be great at what you do. So I know it's a lot of like stuff I missed out on, and I'm like, dang man, I can't believe I did that. But now my family look at Dream Chasers, and they're like, dang, I can't believe Block did it.
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, people come up to them and they're like, nah, like, Block, that's my cut. Like, you know, no, I know Block.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Word.
I always try to show love to them, because I know, and I was demanding, like, I'm asking you, I need this, I gotta have this. Like, can you please let me borrow $100? Like, I gotta have this. Like, we gotta have 3 hotels, you know, please, I need it today.
Yeah.
And they might ask me for something, and I'm like, yo, I got practice this day, that day.
Right.
I'm sorry I can't do
was
it.
like-
You know what I'm saying?
We had like 4. Well, we had like 6 to a room.
Yeah.
Like 6 to a room, just trying to hoop.
Like-
We didn't even care. We just wanted to hoop.
Yeah.
So you get your first coaching gig. Nah, not the first one. You did Toronto Storm. You did Venom. Hey, I'm telling you, Venom, where we took off, dog. Hey, Venom, don't you ever forget about us, dog. We started this. Remember that Drake joint?
Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square.
We
Started
did
from the
that.
bottom.
Yo, his first year, we had 5 of them things. I ain't never gonna forget it. We had 5 of them things.
Yeah, we was like 30 and old.
Yeah,
like,
we had 5 of them joints. I ain't never gonna forget
They
it.
put us
All right.
against the Russian national
Yeah.
team. I'm like,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Boo
I'm
Williams.
looking, they running a pin down to a
Hey, they
double with a 7-footer. I'm like,
That was
I
some
don't know how we gonna defend this one, baby. Get it out in
to,
transition.
What you do after that? Did you do James Blair or did you did Waldenham?
So the crazy thing, big up to my man Brandon Brown. So like I said, I never wanted to coach. I never like I said, I was big into like mathematics. I wanted to like own a business. I wanted to start a business. And one day he was like, yo, come help me coach these girls? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, what? No. And then I walked to the gym. He's like, yo, why you here? I was like, thought you said I could help you coach. He's like, oh, all right, come on. And like, from there, I fell in love with it. Like, had a bunch of opportunities to like keep playing, go back to the BSN League in Puerto Rico, do a couple tours and all that. But like, I knew how I felt for a coach or a leader to leave somebody's life, and I didn't want to do it. I remember one of the girls I coached, Charnissa Chillers, she got a scholarship to play at Radford, and she's coaching at Fayetteville State now. Her mom called me and was like, man, I heard that you leaving. Like, Nissa came home really sad. And I was like, dang, I gotta give it up.
Right.
Like, I gotta give up my hoop dreams to help other dreams.
Yeah.
So that's when, and even my boys just be like, oh, you different now that you coach. You don't want to hoop no more. Like, you don't want to, like, you know, you could just go overseas for 2-3 months and then come right back. But I knew how I felt. I knew how I felt to have somebody in your life that made you feel like I can do anything. And then when they left, I was like, dang. So from then I was like, let's get it. So I had James Blair Middle. I was crazy on the sideline. People think I'm crazy now. I was crazy. Like, I ain't no better.
So down the list, James Blair.
James Blair Middle. And then I was assistant coach for the girls at Jamestown. Shout out to Dr. Glistener. She took a chance on me. Matter of fact, from James Blair, then I came here to Berkeley with the girls. You see them banners? Dang, it's a couple. It's a couple. They need to upgrade some of them too. Some of them don't stand up there, but we can go to the trophy case in a second. Then after Berkeley, I was the Jamestown girls assistant. Then I got the Walsingham job. A lot of people don't know my first coaching job was with girls.
Right.
Yeah, so I got the Walsingham job, and it was a change because that's varsity basketball, so it's real. Everything matters now, everything, and that's a part of how I got like my business savviness. Walsingham different. You can't walk in there, in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta walk in there like you're supposed to be there, and so that they can respect you, and you know you can't mess nothing up there.
Right.
Then I got a job at Williamsburg Christian Academy. I got a job at Williamsburg Christian Academy, which was on. I think we went to the state championship 3 years in a row. We beat St. John's out of WCAC at the Beast from the East. I think that's now called the She Got Game. We beat Newman Gretty.
So these
like,
still girls.
Yeah, girls. Like I had a mob. I had a mob though. I had some hoopers. Like, shout out to my girls. Like, y'all are one of the reasons why I'm here. And then you kind of see things was, and when I applied for the Jamestown job, like I was like, I'm not about to get no interview, like whatever, man, you know, like I'll go ahead and apply, like whatever. So I got a call, and it was like, yeah, can you interview tomorrow? And I was like, I must be like the minority choice, you know, you gotta have one. But at the time I was running the Team Loaded program, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna work on my resume while I'm driving to practice. And then I got into the interview, and I just told them like how it was gonna be. Like, you know, they was moving to 4A and to the Penn South Conference, and I think that had like Heritage and some other PD teams, and I said, I'm with it. Like, I'm with it, because, you know, growing up as a baller, you always been with, okay, you want to put me against a Newport News guy, you want to put me against a Hampton guy, cool, let's do it. Like, let's end all this talking. Like, let's do it. So the same thing like when I was coaching. All right, my girls can't play with who? We here. Right. We at the Boo Williams Complex. Hey, Boo, give me Hampton High. I don't want no championship games. I want whoever's supposed to be whoever. Like, that's always been my attitude. Now, some people take it disrespectfully. Oh, da-da-da. No, it's not that. I was an under 6 foot Division I guard. You had to bring it.
Right.
Like I said, I'm at Thanksgiving. They like, you eating last. You ain't nothing. You know, my Uncle Russell, he's 6'3". Vaughn, 6'6". My Uncle Tony, stat. JT, 6'2". So it's like, you ain't eating. Like, go back out there and work on your game. Mm-hmm. So, like, that was installed in me. Always working, always wanted to compete. Like, I still don't, it's 1,000 players that were better than me, but it wasn't one that competed harder than me. Like, it wasn't one that competed harder than me. When I look back at it, like, some kids got more than I got, you know, but I think it was where they was at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to be in the gym. They got 30 games in the summer. They was getting coached by a guy that had played college or that had aspirations to go to the next level. So he put everything in. But I mean, it all works itself out. So like I always had that passion, and that kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. And like I'm a student of the game, not a teacher's pet. I'm not about to get on. I'm not bowing down. Like you know what I'm saying. I will learn with anybody, you know, because I'm the best thief in the game. I'll, you know, learn from you, steal your stuff, and then run it against you.
Right.
And it was always that Williamsburg was in me. That Holland Park was in me. Like you gotta beat me.
Speaking
like, you gotta remove me.
Speaking of Holland Park, you had a particular player, special player, Diamante Brown at Jamestown, right? And y'all had how long did you had him for?
So I coached Diamante for 2 years, but I've known him since he was here at Berkeley because I was teaching at Berkeley. And the story is it's crazy. Me and him did not get along. Like I did not like Like he'd be in the hallway, I'd be in the hallway. What you looking at? What you looking at? He'll throw something and then run. Like we was always boom. But I mean, I always respected him because you knew he was talented and you knew he loved the game. And his mom was Tina Brown, like amazing mom. Like she was from Holland Park too. And you know, I knew that like he had everything it took to get out. Like he had everything it took. And then when I got the Jamestown job, they had like moved or something, and I was like, nah, you ain't coming. And then we just looked at each other and was like,
Because he started at Lafayette, didn't he?
yeah,
he started.
He played JV for 2 years at Lafayette.
Then he came.
He
to
played
Jamestown.
JV for 2 years. Cause I ain't taking no shots at nobody, but you know our team was straight, you know, family. Like all of them was all of them. Like we ain't go get nobody. It was like it's us against the world.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can see the pictures of the kids that was at Berkeley Middle. They played together. You can see the pictures of the guys that was at Hornsby, and they played together. And then boom, now we in high school together.
Yeah.
So you know, I ain't taking nothing at nobody, but it was a different type of fight that we possessed. But I mean, unbelievable, talented kid. Got the opportunity to play at Shawan, a Division II school in North Carolina, which was great.
I met him out there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Y'all played
Twice.
like
Yep.
that's like when you sent me that picture, like I started crying and like. A lot of people can't understand it, but it's like to see that two kids from Williamsburg playing against each other in college.
Yeah.
And that's not the only time it happened. Remember, X and Dirk played against each other.
Yeah.
ODU and UAB.
Yeah.
So people can take the shots at me, block ain't this, block ain't that, but that's history, right?
Yeah.
That's history. That's, you know what I'm saying? So the way you gotta attack things, it don't always look good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it don't always, you know, even when you're in the kitchen cooking, it don't always look good before you get it. So, you know, that was a dope moment, like a beautiful picture. But back to it, like he did more than help us get to the state championship game. He helped Williamsburg basketball. Like he changed the culture. I think after that Jamestown wave, people was like, nah, the Berg is real.
Yeah.
You know, after that wave, then Xavier Brown came and shut it down. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, people know, like, the town, like, it's real. Like, in Holland Park, it's real. You know,
Now
Chris.
JMU killing.
Yeah, Chris came and coached Jamestown. Like, Chris from Holland Park, I'm from Holland Park. Like, that's two Holland Park dudes that took Jamestown to the state tournament.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so people be thinking, oh, you just saw. No, like it was real over there in the park. Like you had to love the game, you had to work on your game. Like you won't get away with it not working and not competing. Like that was the culture there. But yeah, like it was awesome to coach Diamante for those 2 years, just to see where he came, as far as he came from, is just unbelievable. Like I remember seeing him play at Berkeley when they won the middle school championship at James Blair. against York. They had Clavon. Clavon's like one of the best players ever. Like, Clavon was a beast. He was a beast in middle school, beast in high school, and the game was crazy. And like, if you from Williamsburg and Yorktown go through the same thing. Like, you don't think it's rough over there. Like, me and my mom stayed in the square. Yeah, behind 7-Eleven, it's real. Like, I had to learn real quick, like, yo, you gotta be tough here. But, so you had everybody in that gym. You had the square, the Shire, you had Holland Park, Rolling Meadows, Iron Vine. The game was crazy. Like, the game was crazy. I think the Cooks still got the film. Like, they videotaped all the games. The Cooks still got the film. Like, that game was like...
Oh, they was all in the same age.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, like, yeah. And, shoot, yeah, so, like, that game was crazy. But, I mean, I still remember the night, all that happened. I was in Philly doing a camp. And I was sitting at the table. I was at dinner. And somebody had asked me, like, who's your favorite kid? And I was like, none of them are my favorite. All of them make me happy. All of them make me sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they do. They got their points. And I said, but let me tell you a story about a kid. I'll tell you about Diamante, how, we used, like, mayonnaise and oil. And then we clicked. It was lemonade. That thing tastes real good. And it's so crazy, man. Like, I wanted to call him, but my freaking phone went dead. Like, I just wanted to call him and tell him I was talking about him, tell him how much I loved him. We got to the hotel, and I don't even know, like, I went to the bathroom, and my mom was calling me. She was crying. I'm like, man, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? And she was like, I don't want nobody to tell you, but I got to tell you. And it was so, like, it's the same thing, like, why? It's difficult. I mean, it's difficult to think about. It's difficult to talk about because I really love him. He did a lot for me. He allowed me to, my success is because of him. Unbelievable young man. Like I said, unbelievable family. The memories that he created. People still talk about him. That athletic boy you had at Jamestown, that. So, I mean, definitely miss him. That's why I try to tell people now, like, talk to your family, like, talk to your kids, because they might make a decision that's going to hurt more than them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They might make a decision that's going to tear down, not their family, somebody else's family. Like, it's a lot that go on when you do certain things. Like, just talk to them, man, because, like, again, I said, that pain is something I never want anybody to have to feel or have to deal with, for real.
I'm going to take this portion of the whole show to give you your flowers and let you know everything that you did for me. So maybe like started Venom. So we was gonna have a documentary that came out, and it never came out. It never showed.
Okay.
And
unreleased tapes.
It's an unreleased tape. And I remember this portion vividly. They asked me about you. And now that I'm in a position to get to share it, now is the time. So a lot of people don't know that Block literally changed my life. I wish I had the film because that's how I started it. And I'm going to finish it. And I'm going to tell y'all how. So he literally changed my life. So I don't know if he knew, but the town do talk. So at this point, I had just got out of jail or detention. And I was in school. I just came off a great season at Lafayette. I was just in school, just trying to find a way. And I was at the rec center, still working out, still hooping, not really doing too much, but trying to stay in shape, just trying to do something I enjoy. And he came up to me and he said, yo, you want to hoop with me? And I was like, bruh, yeah, I do. And So you wasn't you at this point you were a coach, so you weren't a player, and the players hear different things than the coaches. So being on that team, it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. But to me, I was so grateful to have another opportunity to be able to play basketball, and that literally changed my life for real. Because after that, I didn't start. After coming off a great season, I didn't start. I played behind cats that they can say they was better than me, but ain't no way in hell they was better than me. But I had to, I had a lot to learn, and I had to take the back seat to a lot of things. But all in all, I was definitely just grateful to have another chance and have another shot at playing basketball again. So after I had came through that season, I went to JUCO, and that was like part of the whole plan. So I ended up going to JUCO, and I played there 2 years. Did my 2 years there. After I do my 2 years, I'm at a standstill. I don't really know what to do. Like, I ain't hooping. Like, I ain't get the call. But there was one person who was still like looking out for me, and I hadn't graduated yet from the JUCO, and so how it works is when you at the 2-year program, you have to get your associates. So a lot of people they think they can just go to the JUCO 1-2 years and then hop and leave. No,
You
but
gotta get that associate.
You got to get the associates, because that's what makes you eligible
Facts.
to have your junior and senior season. So he called me. He said, "Yo, it's a D2 out in West Virginia. They need players. What's up?" I'm like, "Block. I don't know, bro. I ain't even finished." And he was like, "Well, you better finish. Do something, because we got to meet the coach tomorrow. I'm picking you up, and we got to be at the game at 7. So it was like, all right, okay. Like, what else I'm going to do is just, okay, cool, whatever. So we get in the car. We go meet Coach Woody at the time. And he was like, "Yo, I met you. You ain't got to come to no workouts. I take my man word for it. You good. You on the team. I'm going to send you your signing letter." I'm like, "For real? All this shit really going down for real?" So I didn't think it was real yet. And I called Block. I'm like, "Yo, I'm back in school, and I'm going to graduate in the summer." And he said, "All right, bet." So I keep in contact with Woody, and he was like, "Yo, I remember signing day like it was, I remember that like it was yesterday." Because we had Ant with us. Ant was still with us.
Love it.
And
At Ocean and
Ocean
L.
and L. And I remember
Ocean and
that.
L. I remember you had to fit it in the Astro shirt.
Yeah.
I had a little polo joint on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it, and I was like, damn, this really about to happen. I didn't think it was real, but it was like, damn, this dude really been in my corner the entire time. And right now is the time I'm gonna tell you, like, I appreciate everything you done for me. Like, you really don't know what you did for me. Like, a kid that didn't have the father figure, a kid that didn't have too much going on for himself. I didn't have what everybody else had. I always had to work, and I think that you knew that because you've been through that, and you didn't want a lot of us, even Diamante, who kind of went through that too, to continue to go through that. So I think that's, you picked us up and you put us in positions to where we would be able to go to college, Division II college, not NAIA, not, something. This is NCAA basketball. Like, he put us in a position to be able to play. And, I went there, got my bachelor's and master's, and now I'm in a position where, basketball, I ain't gonna say basketball didn't work out. It did what it needed to do for me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It did everything it needed to
catapulted
do
you
for me.
to where you going
So
now.
I was definitely in a position to go to Spain. And my daughter came, so I had to hang it up. And that was like another big blessing. So
Absolutely.
now I just want to let you know, bro, thank you for everything you did. You definitely changed my life, because if you ain't, the simple words is, "Yo, you want to play? You want to play for me?"
Yeah. That's true.
Do you want to play for me? It literally changed my life, and I got to live out a dream that I had since a kid. The dream was never NBA, not for me. The dream was just to be able to play basketball in college, and you really changed my life. Now I got accolades on accolades, and doing my own show.
Money,
and,
baby.
You know what I mean? Like, so I definitely appreciate you, and I just want to say thank you, brother.
Nah, man, I really appreciate that. Like I said, a lot of stuff gets misconstrued, and everybody has their why. I never did this to be popular, to get women, to any of that. Like, I did this because basketball was a brotherhood. It saved me, and I wanted to help. Let's not even use the word save. I wanted to help people over exceed their potential. Like, I saw the great in you, you know. So, no, I appreciate it. I mean, it means a lot because, like, you know, everybody doesn't know the struggles you go through. Everybody doesn't know, you know, somehow this thing creates enemies. Oh, he's this, he's that. And you ain't even that. But the other side of you is like, I don't got time to talk to everybody to, you know, clarify every rumor. Like, the people that surround me know how much I love them. The people that surround me know how genuine I am. And the people that surround me are for me. That's the biggest thing that I had to understand. Everybody not gonna like you, everybody. But back to it, man, I would do it again, and your words mean more than you'll ever know. And, you know, all the sacrifice and all the hate, it's worth it to see y'all doing y'all thing. It's worth it. Like, they can take whatever they want from me, but they can't take what y'all have done. Like, that's always gonna be, you know, that's always gonna be there. And, you know, it's you was great to coach. You had that competitive fire. You had that Williamsburg, like you said, you had that Championsburg. Like, it's different. Like, you had that. No, I can't go home if we lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go home. Like, I can't tell my people we lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came all the way to North Carolina and we lost. North Carolina got wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's us against all them, even the people in the parking lot. Like, if they don't got a V, if they ain't getting that Pacifica, they not with us.
I literally think that at that point in time, basketball won't just running up and down and hooping, bro. It was literally the lifeline. Like, this is what I got. This is all I got, and something gotta work. It gotta work.
That's why, like, I get so emotional, so passionate when I see people in certain powers of position and they just let the kids get treated anyway. Like, I was that kid that people watched people do the wrong thing. And people can say whatever. I was that kid that after you graduate, the people of power of position say, I didn't agree with what was going on, but I had to support it. I didn't think it was right, but I had to support it. I never want to be that person. Like, if I see that it shouldn't be that way, I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to stand up on it. And it's not easy because, you know, you stand up to the wrong people now. It's like, all right, you know, we ain't letting you, you know, whatever. But God has blessed me in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? In so many ways that I can't keep thanking Him in. We good now.
Yeah.
Like, we good now. They ask me how I'm doing now. I tell them better than them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, God, I'm humble because I don't want you to change it, baby. But I love where we at, and I know we gonna go even further. Like, you doing things that you love, and that's awesome. It's a job, but it's not a job for you because you love it.
Yeah.
You know, and God then put us in some places we like. You know, for us, you know, we traveling to Pennsylvania, Jersey, and we getting paid. Y'all getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all getting paid. We meeting with the top of the top coaches, and they like, those your peoples? All right, let me make sure they straight. Right. Like, what's his shoe size? What's his shoe? This your room. This y'all got the whole hallway.
Like McDonald's All American.
Yeah, you know, we ain't gonna tell too many stories, but we straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we good. We in Atlantic City. We good. Like, you know, that's just a blessing. Like, who would ever think basketball could do that much?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thanking them every day and continuing to strive to get even better because I know it's always somebody that think they can do better than you, and naturally we competitors. I'm like, bring it on. Yo, let's do this. Like, you know, but No, to keep the main thing, like I love what you're doing, man. Just know I'm always gonna believe in you. I'm always a supporter, you know, whatever you're doing, you know, no matter, you know, it's this, your clothing line, you know, your parties, you know, all that. I'm at least gonna walk in and wave. I can't be in there for too long. Man, I'm gonna send some people there, but nah, it's great to see it, and a lot of people they don't understand it, but it's not meant for them to understand. Like, you know, when I tell you I love you, like I really love you. Like when I told you I love you 10 years ago, like really loved you, and I'm trying to stick to it because I don't want to be what was in my life.
Right.
I don't want to be. I've seen how other coaches have treated me as their former player, or you know, as a mentor, and I don't ever want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now I always definitely still want to hold y'all to that standard, but I still want to love y'all and be in y'all corner, you know, no matter what. So like the biggest thing, like I know it's a lot of people looking, a lot of people listening, like be who you be to them, what you wanted.
Oh, save that. What I want you to do. This is solely for you.
Want me to freestyle? No, I'm
This
sorry.
is solely
I could have had a platinum album.
This portion is solely for you. I want you to give a motivational speech to those out there. I just started doing this. I did it on my last show, so I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna keep it going. So at the end of every show, I'm gonna have my guests say something motivational to kids listening, adults listening. It don't really matter. Whoever. Don't really matter. Just just say what you need to say. Lift the spirits. You know. Hey, this is your calling,
No,
guys.
I just like if they told you no, then they told you yes, and just believe you have everything inside of you to be the best. I told you I could have been on an album, bro. That was straight off the head. I could be ghostwriting for somebody right now. But no, and like, see, people don't see that side. They're like, we ain't no block me joking and laugh. But I do. We eat good. Like we gotta eat good, and we compete. Like we work. But I mean, no, like it's nothing you can't do. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Overachieve, overbelieve, and you're gonna love your dream. I'm spitting, bro. You about to get like 1 million views, bro. I just want those shoes. Let me get, like, we might have to rewind that. Like, that's all. I promise you I didn't write this down. Like, it's off the top of the dome. No, but, I mean, that's what it is. Like, it's love. Like, being around y'all. Like, I still want to be around y'all. Like, I can't hoop no more. Like, I can't get off the ground. I can still give you in and out, but I can't. And he can score on me now. I used to be able to strap him up.
Block, stop joking.
I'm sorry, like, no, but like, you know, like I said, just overbelieve so you can overachieve. And if they told you no, just know in your mind they told you yes. Like you can get it done. Don't worry about your circumstances. Worry about where you want to go, because God will create a path for you. I think so many times we worry about what could happen wrong, but what if it happens right? Write it down and go do it. Write it down and go do it, and pray while you're going through it. He told me I can't joke anymore, so.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you coming on today.
I love you, man.
Love you, dog.
Oh, my man. Championsburg, Williamsburg. Chase your dreams. You know what that means.